She let the pot speak first, before the night found her again. The storm had followed her home, and something darker had followed the storm. She kept her hands busy, because busy hands never reached for fear.
The sound of searing always felt safer than the sounds beyond the walls.
There was one thing she had not forgotten, though she still would not touch it.
The little flame made the whole trailer feel braver than it really was.
She stirred slowly, as if the right pace could hold the night together. Outside, the dead kept wandering closer, drawn by light or memory. Inside, she guarded a small warmth that still remembered how home felt. She had learned how to survive, but not how to stop remembering. Outside, the dead kept getting closer, Hen, but not yet, not yet. Inside the mobile home, she was still waiting to add the one thing. She could have done it sooner, but some comforts asked to be earned. The night pressed closer, and still she waited for the right moment. The onions softened first, the way hard things sometimes softened in warmth.
Each piece disappeared into the pot, and somehow the room felt fuller.
She leaned into the heat, like it was the closest thing to company. There were too many shapes outside now to count without trembling. Even in a world undone, small rooms still knew how to hold tenderness. She cut the potatoes thick, the way she always had on colder nights. The pot accepted everything she gave it, without asking what she had lost. Some nights, even silence felt crowded with names she could not say. The smallest thing on the counter carried the heaviest part of the night. She was almost ready to reveal it, but the moment needed softening first. The room could feel it too, that something precious was still being saved.
The secret sat there quietly, like a memory trying not to be disturbed.
Outside, hunger kept moving closer, but inside she kept time another way.
The little home held together on warmth, patience, and one unfinished promise.
The moment was getting closer, and she knew exactly what it would change. The broth had grown richer, the way sorrow sometimes deepened into comfort. She added garlic for warmth, for courage, and for the old familiar smell.
The scent changed first, and suddenly the trailer no longer felt so lonely.
The storm rose again outside, as if it knew something was about to heal. She breathed it in carefully, afraid one memory might undo the rest.
It was nearly ready now, thick enough to hold both hunger and memory. The dead were closer now, but the warmth inside held its ground. Every small object in the room seemed to lean toward the heat.
At last, She touched the one thing she had been saving all night. At last, she touched the one thing she had been saving all night.
The scent was still there, waiting patiently inside a little box of years.
It was only rosemary, but to her, it carried an entire vanished kitchen.
Her mother used to add it last, when the house finally felt safe. She held it there for one breath, letting the past hover over the present. Then she let it fall, and the whole room changed at once.
Outside, the dead kept getting closer, but inside everything turned back into home.
It was the last ingredient, and also the oldest kind of comfort. The storm was still there, but now it sounded farther away somehow.
Nothing outside had changed, yet the little home felt stronger against it.
The pot held more than dinner now. It held the shape of being cared for. She served it gently, the way people serve things worth remembering. For the first time that night, the room felt ready to be still. The steam rose like a prayer too small for anyone but her. She let the heat settle into her hands before she asked anything of it.
Every spoonful carried warmth first, then memory, then the ache after memory.
She tasted it, and the night loosened its grip around her chest.
The trailer was still small, but now it felt wide enough to rest.
The weather went on speaking, but she no longer needed to answer it. Peace was never loud here. It arrived in careful little details.
Even now, the bowl kept giving back more comfort than it promised.
The hunger had gone quiet, and in its place came a gentler loneliness. Some nights did not need words, they only needed warmth kept close. She cleaned slowly, as if not wanting to disturb the peace she had made. Even the pot seemed tired now, settling into the quiet beside her.
Beyond the window, the world stayed broken, but it could wait until morning.
She had eaten enough to remember hope, and enough to keep going. She watched the rain erase the night, one silver line at a time.
The little home glowed softly, like something refusing to be forgotten. From outside, it was only a trailer. From inside, it was shelter enough.
No one beyond the storm could know how much comfort fit inside that light.
And for one rainy night, that was enough to keep the darkness outside.